The supporters of this bill are saying it would, in Ohio, create some of the most stringent fracking-related regulation in the country. Is that not the case? And why not?
Can you repeat the question?
The question was that there are supporters of this bill, Senate Bill 315, and said that as proposed, it would be the most stringent fracking-related regulations in the country. I believe if you look into it and you make a comparison between certain provisions of this bill and certain provisions that are in complementary in other states, there will be a few where Ohio does fall short. I think the fact that the disclosure provisions that allow for, as I put it, gagging doctors from alerting the public to impacts to their patients, to fully diagnose these impacts. You will not find those in the vaunted Colorado legislation on disclosure that the Oil and Gas Association and Department of Natural Resources have said is the gold standard, and that's what we're basing this on, are going to be better. But ultimately, the question for us, I think, is whether the rules and regulations, whether these laws are protective of Ohio's gasland communities, and I think whether we are slightly better than a state to the east of us that has had explosions and contaminations, or if we're better than the North Dakotas and Colorados in terms of disclosure, means very little to the folks that live in these communities in Ohio, especially these communities in Ohio that do not have a say in whether these industrial operations occur in their communities. They don't have proper notice, they don't have the ability to comment on permits, do not have the ability to appeal permits. The question is whether this is good for Ohio, whether these regulations are good for Ohioans. You have a lot of these communities have already been inundated with 100+ years of coal mining pre-law that has caused rivers to run orange in southeast Ohio. Do we need to add another toxic millstone around the necks of these communities without giving them these proper regulations? And I think that it's just a red herring, really, to say, oh, we're slightly better than this state or this state. Are we good enough for Ohio?
Referring to the